What's up, guys? We have a really cool video today. I'm going to be breaking down exactly how I transformed Devin's looks, okay? We're going to be covering this entire system, okay, for free. You can copy all the answers to the problems you have. They will be found in this video. So without further ado, let's go. So the first problem we had with Devin was simply that he was bloated, okay? He was simply bloated, both overweight, and he just had a lot of water retention in his face, as you guys can see. Very rounded, not defined. And we fixed this, and here's exactly how we did it. The first thing we did was kind of just implement my basic diet, just the simple bread and butter, except no bread, of my diet principles. So 60% meat, around 10% wild-caught salmon, 35% pasture-raised eggs, and 5% grass-fed butter. And again, you know, this would go up or down depending on the day. This is not super important. The breakdown, this is just kind of how it ended up working out. You could raise the wild-caught salmon, decrease the beef, you could raise the eggs, raise the butter, whatever you want to do, okay? This was the fundamentals of the diet, okay? So this is a ketogenic diet, which means he's running off fat, not carbs, for energy, okay? So ketogenesis and gluconeogenesis for energy. And no carbs for a few reasons. Firstly, again, it decreases water retention when you don't have carbohydrate in your diet, just because of how glycogen stores a lot of water with it. So when your glycogen gets depleted, so does your water, okay? Same with insulin, actually, affects that as well. We'll get into a little bit of that later. And the one thing I will say, and this was not optimal, it didn't hurt his progress, but he would eat some seeds, okay? And this is not ideal. So he would have some, you know, some cashews, he'd have some almonds. He was eating, I cannot spell, but again, not right, but he was eating a little things he knew that wasn't ideal. Again, these are just kind of plant oils. They'll have some phytic acid. Okay, so if you are going to eat them, when he would eat them, it would be more of a snack. It wouldn't be with the meat. We don't want the phytic acid binding to the minerals in the meat. So if you are going to eat something that's not optimal, you don't want to be eating it with your optimal foods, because typically non-optimal things will have anti-nutrients, okay, like the cashews and nuts he was eating, which are seeds. So again, how about raw milk? Because again, I do preach raw milk in development, but in Devin's case, there was no raw milk, okay? And this is because we were just focused on debloating, okay? And I actually had other systems for him to grow in his height, which we'll cover later. So we didn't need raw milk, okay? And here are the exact mechanisms of why raw milk will actually bloat you. So first, they have casomorphines. This is an addictive compound in milk that's intended to kind of keep the calf to keep drinking more and more to grow in size. So we don't really want casomorphines. It has lactose, which this is the least offensive carbohydrate, but it will cause some water retention, and again, it kind of disrupt ketosis in larger amounts. And again, milk is a liquid food. Liquid food is easy to overconsume, okay? If you ground up meat into a shake, which sounds disgusting, it would be easier to consume more of that, like liquid fat, than actually eating it, okay? There's more satiety when it takes you longer to eat and when it's not in a liquid form. So milk is just addictive by nature, okay? So for debloating, with Devin's case, we said no to milk. Okay, and that was the right call, of course. Logistics. So, you know, a lot of people may have electrolyte issues and things like that with this diet. So I'm going to teach you exactly what to do if you face any of these issues on a ketogenic carnivorous type of diet. So first, we did one large meal per day. That's right, he was eating once per day, okay? And this is for insulin stimulation purposes, okay? The only way to stimulate insulin is not sugar. When you eat anything, actually, your insulin is stimulated to an extent. So we did a high protein meal, and when you do a super high protein meal, you can actually break out of ketosis. You get a ton of protein, and hundreds of grams of protein at once, that will get you out of ketosis. That'll stimulate your insulin, okay? And again, we can see this is a high protein meal. We see how glucagon and insulin is stimulated. Now, when you eat sugar, this is typically how insulin will look. Okay, like let's say I drank 100 grams of just sugar, fruit juice or something. That's pretty much how it's going. Well, that has fructose. So you get my point though. Then if you were to have a high protein meal, typically it looks more like this, okay? It's a little bit less of a spike. It's actually more upregulated insulin for a little bit of time, not the max insulin. And this is going to help you retain electrolytes. It's going to help stimulate insulin, which you do want stimulated, okay? Calorie restriction. No calorie restriction on this diet. We have nothing addictive by nature in this diet. No sugars, no casomorphines. We simply just have meat, eggs, and butter, okay? No reason to limit calories, which again, a calorie, the amount of heat, energy required to raise the temperature of 1 kg of water by 1 degree Celsius. This is not how humans process food. We process food chemically. So again, calories do not apply. We are not closed thermodynamic systems. We are not simply combusting food, just to be clear. And we went light on the salt. Okay, just salt to taste. Went pretty light on it. Electrolyte retention. So in the modern day, all water is deplete of electrolytes pretty much, unless you make an effort to find water that's not. So I just recommend really any human supplement electrolytes. It's really just an easy way. Just nice, you know. We did 4 grams of taurine daily, and taurine is an osmolyte, so this is going to help regulate electrolytes. So it's actually really slept on, really key thing. You want your osmolyte content to be very high on a carnivorous or ketogenic diet, because again, your insulin is going to be lower, and when your insulin's lower, you are going to be dumping out more electrolytes. So we want to be stimulating insulin with high protein. We want to be supplementing taurine if needed. Meat has a lot of taurine, especially lamb. If you want a lot of taurine naturally, just eat lamb. If you ate lamb as your main meat, you'd be really good with taurine, especially as long as you don't overcook it. But it doesn't hurt just to add in some taurine. And I'm not concerned about electrolyte ratios. I'm not autistically like, okay, here's how much sodium on the macronutrient calculator, here's how much sodium, and here's how much magnesium. No. Let the osmolytes, give your body the proper inputs, it will give you the proper outputs, okay? And that's all the nuances to the diet we did with him, and result fixed. We fixed his bloat, just like this. No calorie restriction, no starving, nothing. He just ate this for, a few months, and there it is. That's all it was, fixed. The next problem he had was patchy eyebrows. As we can see, just the patchiness on the kind of lateral area, and super simple solution. I won't spend too much time with this. Topical minoxidil twice daily, dermastamp on the 0.75 setting once weekly. Okay, and we fixed it. That's all it was, really. It didn't even take that long. I think it just took like about a month. So yeah, that's how we fixed the patchy eyebrows. Our third problem was lip color, and this is a super minor problem, but it indeed was a problem he had. His lips weren't that defined in color compared to his skin complexion, so we just did a super easy solution without even trying, which was the iron from the beef. Okay, and that actually will change your lip color. We just fixed it just with that. In terms of his training routine, he was kind of new to the gym, so I just gave him the same routine I have in my school. Now again, I have an optimal routine in my school, which I would recommend doing over this one, but this is still a good routine. It's just a classic high intensity, low volume PPL routine. We did about 1 rep in reserve, 0 to 1 reps in reserve. The sets and reps aren't super important for this routine. You can screenshot this. If you don't have a routine, you want a starting place, it's just a simple one. He did some other exercises. Sometimes he skipped exercises. He kind of did what he wanted, but this is kind of a core, you're focusing core, legs, back, biceps, chest, shoulders, triceps, basic routine, okay? The sets and reps is not super important. We did this about 3 times a week, okay? 3 times a week. I'd like to have a rest day between every training day, even on Carnivore. Your recovery will be a lot better on Carnivore, but I still prefer to have a rest day, just to not overly stress the body. Not too much endurance activity during puberty, just for growth purposes. And yeah, it worked out really well. My camera is going crazy. I had to cut the lights back there. But anyway, so we did some Healthmaxxing, okay? This is just standard basic stuff. We avoid seed oils at all costs, especially because of my routines. I like a lot of sun exposure. And the way seed oils get stored in your tissue, the polyunsaturated fatty acids, the way they oxidize in your body, really not a fan of it at all. I find it funny that in this picture they try to make them look like some sort of quality product. I find that very funny. They're obviously nothing of the sort. This is more realistic. They're a bunch of waste products stored in plastic, leaching into it. They're very toxic. Again, the omega-3 to 6 ratios and the way they oxidize in the body, something that most humans who ever lived would never have to deal with. Okay, you don't want this much linoleic acid in your body. We start the day with sunlight and get 2 hours of sunlight total. Based on Devin's complexion, okay, and his ethnicity, 2 hours a day, safe tanning, good place to start. If you're white, I would do more like 1. If you're, black, maybe 3. Blue light glasses on 3 hours before bed, just to get that sleep schedule locked in, just to kind of regulate the hormones. And we used further methods. I won't discuss them here. We used another method to keep his growth plates open because he really cared about, and you could probably figure that out, we really cared about height in his case. So we used a method to keep his plates open. And this is the result. This is just softmaxing, okay? I think it's really good for softmaxing. Really proud of Devin. He really put in the work. He stayed committed. Aside for those seeds, those pesky seeds he was eating. Other than that, he had a great transformation, and it's awesome. So, yeah, guys, if you're someone who wants to improve your dating life, your looks, your height, your health, I really am an expert in all those things. Check out the community down below. Here are all the modules you get inside my community. If you want more information like this, I have all my guides in there to improve your looks and actually start getting results, okay? And here's some of the transformations I got from working with people. As you guys can see, my own transformation too. Poor development, good development, poor development, good development, etc. So yeah, not specifically development only. That's part of it though. So yeah, if you want to stop wasting time on random advice and start actually, getting girls, learning how to meet girls, improving your looks, improving your height, improving your health, which is really important, how you feel, how you look, then click the first link in the description, check it out, see if it's for you. It's my community. You can always talk to me one-on-one in there as well if you need help with any of this stuff. And if you want to see if you qualify for one-on-one coaching with me, which to be frank, not many people do qualify for one-on-one coaching. It's not a super cheap thing. You get my phone number and we do weekly calls to kind of track your progress, implement more systems to get you the results you want. You can text me anytime in my coaching program. Then you can also see if you qualify, second link in the description. Click that, fill out the quick 2-minute form. If you qualify, we can start working together. I can again set up a full custom system for whatever your goals are, if it's height, dating life, health, looks. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you got some value from this. Feel free to implement this information in your own routine to help you out, and see you guys next time.